Appears to be recording.
Anyways, cheers. I'm fine. Spoilers, by the way. Hi, welcome. I'm starting from scratch. This is going to be a Words of Radiance, Postmortem, talk, discussion, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like spoilers, just don't watch the video. There are pros and cons to having this book in this size, and the pros to me are it's not going to fall on your head and crush your fucking skull in. Words of Radiance is superior to The Way of Kings. Hot take. I haven't read Oathbringer yet, or the next one. But Way of Kings, so far, is the weakest. It has a way slower pace, way less focus. In Words of Radiance, you have the Eshonai interludes that pop in that show us there's going to be a massive storm, massive consequences at the end of this book. And it's set up in a way that where you feel like the tension building. Also, what helps with the pacing of this book is the countdown in Dalinar's room every time he goes crazy in the high storms. That sequence, though, that countdown really helps with the pacing because you know, okay, there's this many days until shit goes down. And that keeps you really engaged. Whereas in The Way of Kings, it's just kind of, oh, Dalinar he's trying to unite everyone and he doesn't know how, and Adolin is being a piece of shit, and Kaladin is just like sad all the time. And then that climax comes, and that's when everything hit me in The Way of Kings was like, that climax, when that came, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Oh, another reason why this book beats Way of Kings. The interludes fucking slap. Okay, the interludes in Way of Kings were, I honestly don't remember. But the interludes, oh boy, you got Risen. That's a long-ass chapter, but it's so good and weird, and you get to see those, the islands that move, and then she's just like doing all this daring shit to try to impress the leader. I was like, I don't want to read this long-ass thing, but then I was like, wow, that was actually really fun. I like that character. And Lift, same thing. Great ending to the Lift sequence. See, even though these interludes sometimes come during the middle of this great stuff, Sanderson always knows how to have each interlude build to something. There's never anything that's just inconsequential. There's never something that's just, Most of them have great endings that just give you a bit of, weight. So annoying. I know people love Kaladin. I like Kaladin. I think he's a great character. I think he was really good in the first book. The first book, he's just like a regular guy who's, enslaved and then forced to be a bridgeman, and he's depressed and suicidal and goes through all of that, and then he brings the bridge team together, and he's basically given everything he could possibly want at the end of Way of Kings, and now he's coming into Words of Radiance. He has all these good things going for him. He has, he's working for a guy who he actually likes, who lets him be a captain, which is a Light-Eye's position. He shouldn't even be doing that job. Kaladin. And even though he has it all, he is complaining about pretty much everything. And it gets to a point where I'm reading this and I start going, man, he's really becoming sort of a douchebag. And I mean that in the kindest way possible, Kaladin. I don't know why I'm acting like he's right here and I'm talking to him, but I'm sorry, Kaladin. But Adolin, the way he talks to him is uncalled for and simply gross. How dare he speak to a Light-Eyes that way? And, he's just stoking Adolin's rage. And, I mean, come on. Kaladin is just like being an asshole. What does he expect to happen? Shallan's backstory is so good. Honestly, it's better than Kaladin's backstory. Kaladin's backstory with the happy family and the little brother who... I'm sorry, Tien? If that's Tien, I'm glad he died. I'm going to say that. Tien deserved to die. He's the most deserving to die of everyone in this whole series. So annoying. And he collects rocks. Get a real hobby. I don't know. I felt like I expected everything that happened in Kaladin's backstory, whereas Shallan's backstory, holy shit. You think that her father's just this abusive bastard, and it's really interesting in how you see how it shapes her character, how it turns her into the person that she is today, trying to cheer up her brothers. It's just very accurate and very full of so much depth. And then at the very end, we realize that she killed her mom, and her dad was just, I guess, abusive on the side, or she just had bad parents. She killed both her parents, which is, that's, nobody wants to do that. Complaints. It had a great beginning, ton of momentum. The momentum died after Yasna died. Shallan is dealing with that lady who's the scam artist who ends up dying and going through trap. I don't care. It's just boring. Just get to the plains. I want to see what happens. I want to see you interact with these other people. I feel like I'm squinting way too much. Okay, I'm squinting a normal amount. Who cares? It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it in post. More complaints. The Ghost Bloods are boring. It's the least interesting part going on in the story for me. And I know it's probably building up to something really cool, and I can't miss out on it, but didn't care that much about it. My favorite moment in the whole book. Shallan and Kaladin in the Chasm. That's my favorite sequence in the whole thing. They end up down, I think it's a little unrealistic that they're both like, I must have saved her. And she's like, I must have saved him with my powers. They've been bickering. I honestly thought the first time they interacted with each other in the palace was a little too quippy, a little too combative. But I really like their progression as characters. And in the Chasm, it's just so beautifully done where Kaladin can kind of see outside of his own pain because he becomes so wrapped up in his own perspective that he thinks there's no way a Light Eyes like Shallan could have any hardship. There's that beautiful line where he talks about how seeing how she dealt with her trauma inspired him, and it's just so beautiful. And I could see the seeds of real love, even though I like Adolin and Shallan, but I do feel like Sanderson is hinting that there are issues with them that they maybe not work out necessarily. Shallan doesn't want to be controlled, yada, yada, yada. Won't get into that. But the Chasm scene, that was really good. The scene where Kaladin gets Syl back, fantastic. When he's fighting Moash and that other dude, that was just really cool. Other favorite moment is Sabario and his wife when they just go to the Shattered Plains with everybody and they're just chilling, and that scene where like the Everstorm is raging around them and he's just like chilling there eating grapes and she's like reading her novel and they're just like, oh yeah, we ordered everyone to go to the thing and be saved, and yeah, so anyways, Dalinar, what's up with you? I vibe with Sabario. He's a wise character in this universe, and I look forward to his progress in these stories. And my absolute favorite moment in this whole book is not the climax, which was really good, but the duel. Adolin facing the 4 Shardbearers. Oh my god, that was so good. That was so... My back was sweating. I'm like, oh, 2 Shardbearers. This is not going to turn out good, dude. Like, you should not have done this fight. Something bad's going to happen. And then 4 Shardbearers show up, and it's like things just keep getting worse and worse. And then Renarin comes out, and it's like, oh, you poor child. Like, don't. Oh my god, it's so hard to watch. And Kaladin comes, and oh, that scene. I would reread this whole book just to reread that. Obviously, they end in a down note because Kaladin is a ridiculous fucking pain in the ass. I stand by what I say. Kaladin is worse. Shallan is the best character in the series so far. She's the best. Absolute worst moment in the book is when Kaladin gives his plate and shard blade to fucking Moash. Another reason why Kaladin is the worst. Adolin is with him in prison for weeks. And he comes out and he's like, you know what? You helped me with this duel, even though the whole scheme blew up in our faces, but you saved my life. And now I'm giving you the shards. Kaladin, he could have been like, well, I can't accept this. Give it to someone important. But he's just like, have this, Moash, even though I know you want to fucking kill the king. You really think Moash is the best person for that, for the shards? His anger, his sense of revenge blinds him, makes him very frustrating, and honestly, it leans into obnoxiousness in this book. A little bit. Moash? Really, Kaladin? Really? Give it to Rock. Jesus, or somebody else. Anybody. This might be a controversial take. I thought the scene where Kaladin realizes he needs to save the king's life was really goofy. Kaladin, for half of this book, is having issues realizing, okay, maybe I should save the king's life. Even though Syl has left him, which is obviously because he decided he's going to go through with this thing with Moash. Oh, yeah, it's better to kill him. Like, really? Is it that much better? Like, Dalinar is still basically in charge. And that's my issue. Not much else is going to change or get better by killing Elhokar. Oh, I guess you're right. Maybe killing people is good, which that's not the Kaladin from The Way of Kings, where he is trying to save every single soul no matter what. Now he's just like, fuck him. He's the worst because of some shit that happened to Moash. Kaladin has this scene where finally he talks to the swordmaster guy. I forget his name's the Hell, something like that. And he's just like, do whatever helps you sleep at night, Kaladin. And then Kaladin has this emotional moment where he's like doing his spear thing, and he's like, man, what's going to help me sleep at night? What's going to help me sleep at night? Oh, maybe not killing a person. That'll help. So, and I get that it builds up to the point where he's in that line that just like made me cringe a little bit, where he says that Elhokar is Dalinar's Tien. No shit, dude. It works, it pays off because Kaladin helps save Elhokar, and the scenes work really well. The climax works really well. Everything clicks into place. And that's what I love about Sanderson's writing, is that all of the plot threads converge in such a beautiful way in these great scenes, so that all of this expectation pays off very well. Even though occasionally that building of expectation hurts, and building towards these great scenes ends up hurting character a little bit because it feels a little forced in terms of their motivation. I felt like Kaladin's motivation was a little forced in the book. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Moral of the story, okay, there's no moral. Words of Radiance. Buy it at your local bookstore. I don't know why I'm sponsoring. I don't know why I'm saying you should buy this product, because this is a spoiler review, so likely people who are watching this have already read it. Hit that like button, you silly goose. And remember, when you are faced with terrifying, insurmountable odds, there is a spren floating around you who has abandoned you forever and is probably not going to come back because you resent the rich. Thanks for watching.